But an officer came and spoke to me. His name is Officer Ryan. I'm glad his coworkers didn't come talk to me. They're on my shit list. A drunk guy that was being an asshole. Let me tell you something. A lot of us out here can't handle the yelling. I can't handle the yelling, but I gotta get it out. I'm a fucking sponge for your goddamn emotions. It's stupid. I'm also able to make you feel however I want, which is pretty intense. It's not some magic power. Getting under somebody's skin is a matter of getting to know them. The more you know somebody, the more you know their idiosyncrasies. The more you know their quirks. Anyway, situation you gotta deal with, and it does need to be dealt with like post haste. That means quickly. For those of you who don't know, not assuming that you're all idiots, just a lot of people don't have much of an education, too busy chasing tail. So, of course, that guy that was yelling at me, let me tell you how much I hate him. I don't. Oh, come on. I got plenty of charge on this thing, but it's not wanting to charge for some odd reason. I don't know. Oh, that's sad. Oh well. So, the guy that was yelling at me earlier, some of the cops were wanting to give the impression that they were gonna go get the guy. Thank you, Officer Ryan, but that will only make things worse. That's the thing about cops not understanding this community. This community is afraid of law enforcement for a reason. Law enforcement preys on us. Did Officer Ryan prey on us? No, he didn't. No, he did not. I say us because any of y'all who are watching, well, you got to hear it too. He said to get a hold of the Attorney General's office. So that's what we're going to do. The problem is that we're going through the same exact routine. Different state, same routine. Same cops, same thing. Now that guy earlier, we don't need to have a bunch of problems over that. See, what he ain't understanding is that I had to deal with some bullshit just prior to his bullshit. And I've been dealing with a lot of bullshit. And I guarantee you he's been dealing with a lot of bullshit of his own too. So, it's pretty important to go talk to the right people. And that's what I'm going to do.
How's it going, brother?
Still breathing. There's God, where is that fella? Is he passed out? God, what's his name? The firefighter. That's him. What's his name?
Drew.
Drew?
Andrew.
You must be an artist. Hey, so with that guy that was down here streaming earlier, I was having a bit of a panic attack, especially with everything else that's going on. So I was venting, and it was to my phone, of course, my YouTube channel. I wasn't yelling at anybody,
Right.
But there was the guy that, the really big guy that carries the cans,
Yeah.
blue shirt.
Right.
Well, he was getting a real shitty attitude with me, and he kept it up and kept it up and kept it up. I maintained at least 60 feet away from him, but I was not in the mood for that.
Right.
Anyway, the cops came and talked to me. They wanted
Great.
a description, and they wanted to go get him. So I convinced them that wasn't okay, and that would make things worse for me in the community, and that I would go talk to somebody who could take care of it better than they could, because they'd only make it worse.
Right.
So they agreed to that. And so I came down here just to let you know, because I don't want to have any problems. This is
For sure. I
We're
need to.
stuck
I need
here.
to know exactly who the guy is, and me and Nick could probably go talk to him.
all right. So he probably
If Nick
came.
wants to, it's up to him.
What happened? Who?
Are you hearing this?
I'm here.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah, well,
listen.
all right. So there was a guy down here earlier that was shouting, and he was giving a few of us anxiety, but he wasn't
it,
here for very long. Anyway, not Nate.
Or
Anyway, I went up to.
Cans.
Well, the first guy was a different guy, but I was having a lot of anxiety about it,
Yeah.
so I was venting to my phone,
Yeah.
and I was pretty loud, so I understand, he was probably having a PTSD reaction to me
Right,
fucking
right.
screaming.
Yeah.
And so he started screaming at me and being insulting and being an ass, and I was being insulting and being an ass back. Now that really isn't the biggest problem. The thing is, the cops came and talked to me,
Yeah.
and they were wanting a description like they were going to come get him. No offense, but I was screaming too. We were both in the wrong. But I want to make sure that problem is dealt with without the police, and I let them know that, and I
That's way
said I
about
could
it.
go talk to a
Right.
couple of guys and get it taken care of without them, because they'll just make it worse.
Yeah.
It's the new officer. His name is Ryan, and he said that's all right.
Huh. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Vigilante.
So he's taller. He wears a blue wife beater. Bigger feller, belly.
Oh, Merlin. Merlin.
Merlin.
That's who it was. Yeah.
Maybe.
I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
what he calls himself anyway. But he's kind of like a ginger-looking guy. He's got red hair. Kind of looks like a Captain Clank.
I'm not
What's
sure.
Captain Clank look like?
Him. No, they call him Merlin. He's not from around here, but he sometimes gets a little. He has a schizophrenic problem sometimes. You know what I mean? So like, he'll start yelling at someone and talking shit to somebody, even though he already knows them. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh, you're
like-
talking about the guy with the blanket earlier. He was the first one screaming.
Oh, okay. There we go. We're on the right path, guys.
He's the first
No,
one
that-
who was screaming,
Yeah.
and he's the one that was giving us anxiety.
Gotcha.
The second one is he's a taller guy. He's got a belly. He's a little portly, but he's
Kinda
tall.
stock, or
Yeah,
tall?
he's stocky. Yep.
Like, it's not fucking. What's his name over there? Over there.
I don't know his name. That's one of the problems. But the thing is, just want to make sure it's not a problem. I don't want the cops coming down here and
Yeah.
making shit worse for all of us.
Yeah, for real, dude. Thank you.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
got
you gotta
I got
wait.
Asperger's. That doesn't make it okay to victimize me, and it also it's something that a lot of people here aren't aware. Just like I tell people that I got Tourette syndrome, so if I
Sure.
wink at you, I'm not flirting at you.
Yeah, I hear you.
Gotcha.
I hear you.
I
Don't
knew
worry,
that.
brother. Don't worry. But yeah, what the fuck's his name?
I'm not sure,
So,
dude.
so he's all right. I just
He's the guy that just walked across the bridge earlier.
Um,
That was like cans, have cans.
I
yeah.
don't remember that.
Huh?
I don't remember that.
Well, fuck, Drew.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's the end of the world, and we're all going to hell, and it's all your fault, Drew.
I know. It's all right.
I'll see you there, buddy.
Right? Yeah, I gotta get an advocate. The ladies over there at the Sinclair, they've done a lot for me already, and I'm hoping what they're doing comes through. But I gotta get something going. If I can't get my disability money, I won't be able to help myself, let alone anyone else.
Oh, I know.
And
I was there too.
I
Had all my shit
see you
stolen.
out here working on the community. I see there's like 5 people out here that work heavy on the community and make it better. So I mean, yeah, a couple of y'all are nuttier than squirrel turds, but you still do the right thing.
Thank you.
With all due respect, I'm nuttier than squirrel
Oh,
turds.
yeah, that's why I like to, I like normal people. I don't like machines.
Right?
Oh,
That's one of the things about being neurodivergent. People say, "Oh, well, you're wired differently," but that's not how it translates in their head.
right.
It translates in their head as my wiring's fucked up. No, my wiring is fine. You
Just a
know,
little different.
a lot different. My brain works super fast. I can process more than one thing at a time, where most people have difficulties processing one thing at a time. That also comes with having OCD.
Right.
But then people think that OCD, because it says obsessive in it, that it must mean that, oh, you're a stalker. You're a stalker because you got OCD. Like, no, that's not what it means. It means I got to touch the door handle twice before I open it.
Right.
I just learned to do it really quick.
Right. Or whatever you're fucking. Yeah. I get it.
Or I gotta, when I open up my cigarettes, I always fold it up a certain way into a nice, neat little square.
All right. Well, when we see him, or if we're around and you see them again, mention it, and I'll have a chat, or he'll have a chat with them. We'll figure it out.
And you know, fireside chat, not a hissy, right?
Right.
Cool.
For sure, dude.
Thank you.
Like a face to face on the side, away from the fucking yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So you know the routine. You're not a dummy.
Fuck no. You don't blow the situation up. You go aside so that there's nobody, you know, and you have a more personal.
Yeah, because otherwise it becomes
Huge problem.
it does. What do they call that? A power struggle.
Ego
That's
trip,
the word.
yeah.
Yep.
Power struggle, yeah.
You're now playing for an audience. My mom does that. My mom loves to play for an audience.
It's alright. I'm getting used to it.
I play for an audience on YouTube. Does that count?
I mean, I play for an audience on Twitch when my shit's not getting stolen,
That works.
right?
You know, it's funny. For like probably 20 years straight, every time I told people I had Tourette syndrome, they wanted to tell me about their friend Twitch who had Tourette syndrome. And I'm like, fuck you.
No, I don't have a friend Twitch. That's funny though.
That's like when somebody starts talking about being black and you start talking about your friend N-word.
Turn
Oh, no.
Well, Bud, it's Kirby.
You turn podcast? Do you prefer podcast?
Not usually.
Oh, okay. Well, they also have side podcasts. I've just got a long way to carry.
Absolutely.
But this shouldn't be too bad. I take my buddy.
Yeah, I realized what a pain in the ass that is, and I also realized how little I got per hour, and I figured I'm not helping out anybody by turning the cans in for them.
Yeah, I hear you, right? Yeah, give them the money.
Yeah. Plus, I can't turn any of my own cans in if I want to do that, but the whole point for me is I'm fine with contributing, not to delinquency, and also the cans are a pain in the ass.
Fuck, yes they are.
If I understand if somebody is an alcoholic and they need that, you know, the $5 to get a couple of 40s, but you know that then it's worth it for them to clean it all day to get $1.12 an hour. Yep. Hey, you get $14 though if you go to Walmart, but then their machine don't work. Yep, can't go to Rite Aid because they require a receipt and it comes in the original package and you got to prove it came from Rite Aid.
They do it like that.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they do that.
Well, I think it's just specific customers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it any more specific than that because it's fucking obvious.
Yeah, work, man. That's a good way to go. Here we go. We're off and running, buddy. I gotta go find me a fucking tattoo. There you go.
All right, be safe. I swear, Drew, I'm going to try to remember your name.
It's alright.
Because I keep thinking Art.
I know I'm Andrew or Drew Hopshoe, Jeremiah. I go by a lot of names, but yeah, my real name is Andrew. That's my real name.
See, now I don't have to call you fucking fugly no more.
Yes. Sweet. It's alright. I'm used to it anyway.
Yeah.
I've been fugly all my life. And I don't care.
Hey, you know what? At least I got you beat on that. My mom said I was her best looking kid till my nose grew.
Oh no. Oh boy.
Yeah. So I got to spend I don't know, like 10 years of my life not ugly.
Right on.
Absolutely. All right, can I pet Thor for a minute?
Of course, dude.
Is he in trouble?
Yeah, not right now. I mean, he is, but he's not. He's doing alright.
Like you go that little
Hello, Thor.
goes out there.
They're lined up right to there.
Thank you. Good boy. Good boy.
There's a bunch of females right in here. Looks like they're sitting on their nest. Dropping eggs or something. We just get
What kind of birds are they?
should work, right? You what?
What kind of birds?
No, they're
The salmon. Oh, did she catch one?
Females come in and drop their eggs. I saw the males come over yesterday. Actually, they were coming over this morning and dropping stuff.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can get down there and take a look. Did she catch a fish? Is that why she's all wet? Or he? Sorry. I don't know why. I keep expecting it to be like the Soko salmon runs. Or the king salmons. You get out there and there's just tens of thousands of them going up the creek. Thank you, Thor. All right. Well, I might be back later, but not likely. All right. Yes, sir. Give me one moment. I'm petting the pooch. You lost part of your guitar. Oh, that's a cartridge bearing. That's for your bike. You are a sweetheart. I don't know why. Absolutely. I got you right here. Oh my God.
We're moving here soon, and I'll stay in touch with you to make sure to.
Said you needed a lighter.
Oh no, I got this one. Thank you.
That's a crack torch.
I know it still works.
Well, you're not smoking crack.
No, I know, but you know, I lost my other one. I usually have these anyway because I like to be on the river in the wind.
Ah, true that.
Right.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go.
I lost mine on the dance floor. Can I make that up?
Too many dicks on a dance floor.
Oh,
Too many dicks. Too many dicks on a dance
No
floor.
dicks, please.
All right.
All right, brother. I'll see you.
Be safe.
Yeah, you too, man.
One of the important things about the homeless community is the fear of the cops is very real. The things that Ryan said, well, he's got at least some experience, 15 years worth. You are not who I thought you were. I said, you're not who I thought you were. Oh, you're good. You don't gotta apologize for being you. Yes, it's the Twilight Tower. That's right. So, they're about 50 yards off, and the young lady waved at me, and I waved back. Turns out she's not who I thought she was, and she probably wasn't waving at me. Anyway, the situations here in the homeless community. Yeah, that situation up there could have gotten very bad. I knew that if I was patient, holy shit. Oh my God. All right, I'd point you guys out to that swarm of mosquitoes back there, but my resolution ain't that great. I suppose I should probably walk down the sidewalk, actually. So, fuck it, I'll pick up the cigarette butts. I don't have to be an asshole. I've been walking by these and I go, oh, it's a motel. I don't pick them up. Somebody gets paid to clean those up, but It bugs the shit out of me. That's one of the issues with staying with people who are messy. Fucking mosquitoes. If I'm staying with somebody who's messy, I want to clean up their messes all day, every day. Just clean, 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 clean. I don't like things messy. I don't like being dirty. So, of course, with me being pretty filthy, stinky, dirty right now, I'm not really enjoying it. I've had one shower in 5 months. Whatever it is, it's a cool looking cat. So, with that new officer, he did tell us to go to the Oregon Attorney General's office. I'm still going to need someone to make the call with me. I got recordings of half a dozen places that I've called here. I don't know the names of all of them. Sometimes people tell me to call a place that I've already called a dozen times, but I might have only called them a couple times from this phone. When I said I'm willing to go to prison for the rest of my life to make sure that these predators are put away, I meant it. The problem is, how do you end up doing that without... I got a moral code. There are things I'm not willing to do. I'm not willing to kill people, so that's not going to work. I could obviously work on a habitual. I think I actually have the numbers for a habitual already. Of course, most of that's BS. Not all of it, though. I admitted to the crimes I committed. I don't think there's a problem with that. A lot of y'all, you say that me being honest isn't helping. Kind of like Megan Misigatis. I explained to her, hey, nobody is trying to do what it is that needs to be done here. Nobody is actually trying to help me to turn this in. She tried to insinuate that anybody who would try to help me is an idiot. Anybody who would attempt to follow the law is an idiot, because we should already know it's not going to work. So if all of these people in all of these places already know, oh nice, got a snipe. If all these people in these places who are professional already know that the system doesn't work, why are they still going to work every day? I don't get it. These people abuse the shit out of me because I'm intelligent. No matter how intelligent I am, that doesn't turn off PTSD and it doesn't turn off autism. I'm different, whether you like it or not. And you guys want to talk about how we need to be inclusive, but you're not inclusive of neurodivergence. You want to treat us like our wires are crossed. They're not. You just abuse the fuck out of us until we're different, because we're different. And you abuse the fuck out of us until we show you trauma responses for that abuse. And then you fucking slam it on her. You wouldn't do this to a young woman like Natalie Bollinger, would you? Well, actually, you might, but for different reasons. You guys are perverts. Your brains are stunted because you think too much about sex. You got sex constantly bombarded at you. Sex, 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 sex. You want to buy some dishwasher soap? Well, we got a sexy model to sell it to you. Oh, you need some insurance? We got a sexy model to sell it to you. Or a fancy gimmick cartoon. We established at one point in time that Joe Camp was not okay because he was a cartoon and he was giving kids the wrong impression. It was targeting children, apparently. Now, I've been watching some of the new cartoons. You know, when I was growing up and there was cartoons, nobody fucking died. I remember watching G.I. Joe and thinking to myself, man, this is a messed up show. All that shooting and nobody ever gets hit. I got this theory about G.I. Joe. After the Clone Wars, they needed to hire some of them troopers, stormtroopers, to fill in the gap, right? And the ones that didn't make it, the ones that did not qualify as stormtroopers, went to G.I. Joe. Now, where does that theory come from? Well, first of all, it's just a cartoon, so it don't matter. But, because G.I. Joe never hit anything. They never hit anything. It's crazy. Now, of course, we got cartoons kids are watching where you've got beheadings, cartoon beheadings. Oh wait, no, it's CGI, so it's not really a cartoon, it's CGI, it's different. But then we got these characters in these Star Wars cartoons that are, really, your kids are watching that? With all them beheadings and stuff, that's fucking gross. But we're desensitizing them a bit at a time. Oh, murder is no big thing. Decapitating somebody is no big thing. No, it's a very big thing. Chris Stegeman, his solution is removing heads. I've spoken about that before. Me and Chris have known each other a long time. Chris's favorite game was to think about torturing people. That was his favorite game. He wanted me to play that game with him. He'd say, so who do you think about? When you think about torturing somebody when we're doing this? I said, well, I think about me. He said, me too. I said, you think about you? He said, no, I think about you. So, of course, when he wanted to talk about torture, and, you know, this is his favorite game, I didn't have many friends, and, of course, you know, I tried to play along. But that's the thing, I can't hit somebody without imagining getting hit. I don't like people hitting me. Why would I want to hit somebody else? Now, if they're hitting me and hitting me and hitting me and hitting me and hitting me, that's a different fucking story. Now, I got a question. How many people outside of law enforcement and the people that the law enforcement sent me to, how many of these people in all these 6 years, why is it that I'm not assaulting anyone? Why is that? Why is it that I haven't been arrested for assaulting civilians if I'm this big crazy person? I don't assault civilians. I don't assault police either. I don't assault hospital staff either. Let's take a look at these two situations. After Natalie died, I was assaulted by Waylon Lolatai for trying to turn in evidence that Broomfield Sheriff's Department had asked for. So, of course, he assaulted me. Beautiful. He assaulted 6 more people that year. He cost quite a bit of money to the taxpayers of Boulder, Colorado. The police didn't pay that. The taxpayers of Boulder, Colorado did. When I tried to tell on him, I was sent to Clearview Behavioral Health. Every step of the way, I tried making phone calls. Every step of the way. I tried to get the police to do their fucking jobs, and I had to do it alone. Nobody was going in with me to try these things. Nobody was making any effort. They were all blowing me off. Oh, I love you, Sean. Oh, I love you, Sean. Oh, you just need to let it go. Really? You're not going to listen to what's going on or find out what's going on, but you want to give me advice. That's something that autistic people across the world fucking bitch at you about. We got cater groups. You know what those are. That's the fucking peanut gallery. That's the problem, is it's just the fucking peanut gallery. You get one person who's autistic and they got a pretty popular channel, and then you get a bunch of autistic people that all pile into that channel, and they all type on there, and well, they butter each other's biscuits, but they don't get anything beyond that. All these people in the autism world, or the Aspie world, sorry. Well, all of these peanuts in the gallery, you know, they gather there because he's been on for a while, and although his channel went from educating people about autism to basically being clickbait and trying to sell merchandise, a lot of the people that are on there, they've got stories to tell that need to be heard. They're saying the same things I am for a reason. You victimize all of us. You give us unsolicited advice. We didn't come to you for advice. We came to you because we're being abused and we're trying to turn it in. Kind of like that little girl who's cutting on her arms because nobody will listen to her. She come to talk to you because she was hoping you would help her turn it in, but you didn't. And then she cut on herself, and she was put in an institution, and she was called mentally ill and given the label of, well, suicidal ideations. That's right. When that officer was speaking about either if you're wanting to hurt someone else or yourself, that's when they're allowed to do something. When you're going through this, they're not allowed. They're not allowed. They're not allowed to do it as legally their job. It is their job. Oh, they don't have money to do their job. See, even that officer there was able to give us useful information. Not only that, it's information that we already had that I spoke up about and was called schizophrenic for. That's right, folks. No matter what I said, it was schizophrenic. No matter what I said, it was a delusion. Meanwhile, the evidence shows that that's not true. To this day, I can get a redo on all my court dates, every single one of them. Every single one. But then again, with my sister destroying evidence, did my sister destroy that evidence? No, she didn't. Her friend did, and he wasn't supposed to. He was supposed to give me a bid. You know what a bid is, right? That means I need work done. You take a look and you tell me how much it's going to cost. Taking a look doesn't mean wiping my fucking computer, asshole. But I still had to try to pretend like everything was all right. Everything was all honky-dory. It's not. I do have to turn in my sister, and I've got to turn in Amanda DeMette, and I've got to turn in Megan Misigatis. I've got to try to make sure that my evidence doesn't get destroyed. I don't have the ability to do that. Without an advocate, working with the cops is not a happening thing. Hello. I don't know why I like that truck so much. I could pretend it's because the lady got out and said hi. I like pleasant people. It's not difficult to be pleasant. Matter of fact, it's pretty easy. Now, that guy earlier that was yelling at me, get away from me. Like, fuck, dude, I'm 60 yards away. I'm having a fucking meltdown. I can't get the help that I need. People aren't understanding that when you are called mentally ill, you have no rights. You have to have a guardian at that point. I started trying to get a guardian before I turned 18. Brenda Dickinson was talking about it, but Dennis told her no. Fuck it, right? Anyway, we got a lot of bodies here to count, don't we? I know absolutely beyond any shadow of a doubt. Yes, I should be shooting these people. Yes, I should be. Absolutely. I get it. I get it. All of America is all entranced in fucking violence. And I should do this and I should do that. I get it. I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not going to do those things. Just because you, the American public, thinks that I should do it, well, you're not doing it. Why are you trying to convince me to do it? Why is it that when I say, hey, will you help me to make these calls and turn these people in, you guys automatically want to turn to violence? Every time, talking about shooting people and talking about stabbing people and talking about beating people up. Like, and if I make a mention of it, a lot of these people are alcoholics. They're going to get angry. You can't make any mention of them getting angry or getting volatile because they're addicts and addicts don't want to fucking hear it. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I was 100% in the right earlier. I'm also not going to pretend that that was all my fault because it's not. I need help. How much abuse do you expect me to take? How much? Meanwhile, calling the Attorney General's office here would probably be about like calling the Attorney General's office in Nebraska. The difference is, in Nebraska, I had to literally make every single one of those calls by myself. I had to make literally every single call to the FBI I had to make by myself. Every single call to these agencies I had to make by myself. Every call that I made to the police or to the local sheriffs, I had to make by myself. Now, the thing is, should it get to the point where I'm literally screaming at the top of my lungs, without civilian oversight, I can't trust the cops. And you don't get that. You don't get that we, in order to trust the cops, well, the cops have to give us something to trust. Lying to us does not build that trust. Lying about us does not build that trust, especially when it almost results in violence. Thank goodness, like I said, again, I'm going to say it. Thank goodness for Logan and Shayna. Thank goodness. If they hadn't been there, that old man would have assaulted me over bullshit. If it weren't for them youngins, I'd have been screwed. I don't know exactly what I started making this video about. I do know that it had something to do with the cops and that guy earlier. And here's the pleasant people who parked next to me again. Thank you for existing, both of you.
You too.
Laughter. All right, I got it running. And they got their vehicle running. So we're all good to go. Life is grand with your head in the sand unless you're afraid of the dark. And I've got a plan starring Iron Man with me instead of Tony Stark. I made that up myself. A lot of people remembered who I was before the situation with Natalie. But after the situation with Natalie, instead of understanding why I was changed, why I had changed so much, They wanted to victimize me for changing. Well, you know what? I've been through a lot of fucking abuse. What, you expect me to smile and be happy all the goddamn time when something fucked up happens to you? You don't smile about it. You don't say thank you. Most of you throw tantrums, and you throw tantrums a lot quicker than I do. Most of y'all threaten people over shit that you got pissed off about 5 minutes ago. Me, how many... Well, actually, it took over a year for me to actually threaten anybody's life back. Before that, I just threatened to take them to court. I actually tried to take them to court. I was actually taking the steps to take them to court. And every time I'm forced to move, I have to start over again without a support network. Every time that I am forced to move again. And all of these people who are supposed to help me to turn these things in tell me it's not their job over and over again. Yes, it is the state trooper's job here in Oregon to police the police. They outright lied. Just like they outright lied in Nebraska. Why did they outright lie? Now, of course, Officer Ryan, so far as I was able to tell, he was honest with me. His body language did not indicate anything sly in his nature, at least not in that moment. Now, that doesn't mean that he wasn't up to something crooked, but you know what? He seemed to shoot me pretty straight. There was another situation, one of the first situations here where I was harassed by the cops. The one where they were trying to pretend that I was trespassed. No, wrong guy. I found out who it was that was actually trespassed from there. No, it wasn't me. He's got 2 dogs, and he's allowed to be on the corner up there. He's just not allowed to be on the property. So, different scenario altogether. Anyway, the officer then had told the other officer, the one who was getting confrontational, the officer that stepped in, he said, no, the first officer, the one that was grilling me, was trying to imply that I had been pulled over and had to run my name once there before in my vehicle, and the other officer corrected him and said, no, he wasn't in the vehicle, they just ran the plates. Wow. That's right next to my phone. I'm glad that it's not a scratch and sniff. Well, it's definitely a stinking sniff on this end, though. Some of those guys, you know, they're not entirely there, but they're also not loose cannons. That guy earlier was having a bad day. The guy with the blanket, he was the one that was screaming. So, I mean, and that was way, way, way earlier. The problem is the amount of anxiety that it created. For me, when I was at Shannon Alvarado's, you know, that's the thing about you not trying to understand autism. After Shannon Alvarado spends an entire night screaming at her boyfriend, it takes me 24 hours to recover from that. It takes me at least 24 hours to recover from that. That's if it's not a repeated thing. If you're doing it every night, then I'm in a constant state of panic. I'm in a constant state of fear. I'm in a situation where I am painfully aware that you're actually not interested in helping. And I'm sorry, I had to try to finish the last half of 3 different thoughts that I was having at once. Only one of them can travel through my mouth at a time. And I was paying attention to that guy with the boxer. Y'all probably don't watch all my videos because there's a lot of them. It would be basically a full-time job. But if you guys got to see the one where I thought the guy must have been military trained because he had his dog trained for a modified danger close. Well, it turned out it wasn't a modified danger close. It was just, all right, you get in front, the dog gets in front of him so that there's more room on the pathway, and he's just had enough experience of moving out of the way to know what to do. It just It just looked weird the way that it was happening. Anyway, I don't have a place. I don't have assistants turning this stuff in. I don't have a place to actually even sit down with my computer and go through it and grab all of the evidence and actually listen to it all and go through day by day to try to pull out the videos from the days that they happened, because I can't turn it in without somebody there and present. That guy today, he said he would try to help me with that paperwork stuff tomorrow. And I hope so. And then Laura, she said that she would try to help me on Monday. The biggest thing that's bugging me right now, though, is I don't want those ladies who work here to be the ones helping me. Not because they won't try. It's because they got a lot of problems of their own and they can barely cope with that. They're taking care of a lot of people. Now, you guys have heard me on more than one occasion about that situation where I vent and I am fucking agitated. But am I agitated at her or am I agitated at the situation? I'm agitated at the situation. I understand her reactions and her interactions. A lot of y'all, you want to assume that everybody who's autistic must be completely retarded. I am a social dummy, but I'm also, when with the right people, I'm a fucking social goddamn butterfly. I don't do well with people playing head games with me, though. I don't. If you're going to tell me one thing and do another, or you're going to give me advice instead of helping, but then later on you don't take your own advice in a similar situation, and that situation ain't nearly as fucked up as mine. But life is grand, ain't it? I haven't seen Logan and Shayna in a few days, so I'm going to try to get a hold of them just because I'm not sure if you know this, but they're not fucked up on meth all the damn time. So, yeah, that's a positive thing. They're younger than me by quite a bit. I think he's 27 and she's 20, almost 20. 20. She might be 20 now. So they're quite a bit younger than me, but also at the same time, I mean, it's a situation where neither one of them are alcoholics, neither one of them are meth addicts or heroin addicts. If they're going to try something out here, it's just experimental. But I also told that's a nice looking ride too. All these new cars look kind of like spaceships. Like you put a couple of stripes of red and a couple of stripes of yellow and pretend it's a Jedi fighter or something. Anyway, you know, that cop, he actually did the right thing in that situation as far as trying to possibly do something about a safety issue. Luckily, I got that safety issue covered. I don't have it covered when I'm having a panic attack. I mean, a lot of my bitching and venting is because I want to get away from guys like that. I get that he doesn't mean any harm by it. I mean, that right there was harmful, for sure. But the other fucked up shit that he didn't mean any harm by it. He's just like that because he's an alcoholic. And no, I'm not making excuses for it. That doesn't make it okay. The man needs treatment. I think about killing myself every single moment of every single day. Every time I think of my older brother Eric. Not even trying to listen to me in the last 6 years. It makes me suicidal. But instead of killing myself, I focus on two things: helping myself and loving others. I love differently, though. It's not just words to me. If I love you and you ask me to drive 1,700 miles, because if I don't, you'll kill yourself, I'll fucking make sure I make it. I will make goddamn sure. When Amy Witcher kicked Andrew out, decided she was done with him and she was gonna hook up with a better man, I was supportive of that. She wanted me to come babysit for her. So I was driving from Washington State to Sydney, Nebraska to babysit them kids because Andrew was a fuck up. And part of the way there, that's when Amy got a hold of me and let me know that Andrew was fucking flipping his wig again. Holy shit, what a fucking nut job. Lucky for me, I got all the screenshots of it. Now that cop there, Ryan, that's the one I want to talk to every time. If he's able to get some training done here for these other officers when it comes to autism, these guys need to understand that not everybody out here is a druggie. Not everybody out here is schizophrenic, and they're just blanketing us all like that. That's not okay. And one of the officers I haven't seen in a while is Peterson. That's the female. Now, I am fairly certain she's probably all right, and I'm not worrying about her extra because she's a female. It's just the fact that one of these things is not like the others. One of these things just isn't the same. She's the only female. Yeah, I'm probably going to notice that she's missing. That doesn't mean she's actually missing. She may be patrolling while I'm sleeping. Not that I sleep much. Now, her conduct was not entirely appropriate. Matter of fact, it was entirely inappropriate on the last encounter that we had. They treated it like it was a joke. Just like they treated the possibility that Ted Bollinger is human trafficking a 16-year-old girl from Colorado to San Antonio, Texas. Now that Officer Ryan, is there any of you guys at all, anyone at all, that can send me a message in my emails so that I can send evidence? There's too much for one person to do in the limited amount of time that I have to do it in, but I'm fucking trying, Yeah, I know a lot of y'all are violent-minded. Now we get to see what works and what doesn't, and your violent-mindedness doesn't work. Matter of fact, I'm not even allowed to speak out about how wrong that is. That you would rather murder somebody than make a police report. That you would rather murder somebody than speak up. You have any idea how fucked up that is? Or how scary that is? Kind of like Desiree. She wanted me to do something about Kevin McGregor. in Cheyenne, Wyoming, right across from the Camilla shelter, and him human trafficking. Dez thought I was gonna do some sort of vigilante thing. Oh, God help you if I ever did. See, here's the difference between me and all these shooters going in and blasting people at random. I already know that's a bad idea. I already know that these guys had an intent and purpose in killing specific people before they ever went in. Of course, in the chaos of people running and diving and jumping under chairs, you got a lot of anxiety. You're pulling the trigger, you got limited ammo, and you, at that point, go fuck it and just start blasting everybody. How about we just don't blast anybody? How about when people come to you about abuse that they're enduring, you fucking listen to them and help them to turn it in instead of giving them lip service? The two guys who were yelling earlier, other than me, well, that one that they were telling me is schizophrenic. We already knew that. So yes, we were able to identify that he was the first guy who was yelling. I was the second guy who was yelling, and the guy who was yelling at me, directly at me, was the third guy who was yelling. We got that established. I gotta try to make phone calls to get my disability back, but I don't have an advocate. My advocate, Megan Messigatis, was not an autism advocate, and she is certainly not any other kind of advocate. According to the state of Nebraska, there's certain criteria that you have to follow to even call yourself an advocate. In most states, well, I guess now in most states there's laws about what is considered an advocate, but it used to be that for most states, an advocate was someone who spoke up. Advocate means to speak up for someone else, someone who might not be allowed to speak for themselves. When somebody is called mentally ill, they're going to get blown off, and the thing that prevents them from getting blown off is a guardian who cares. A guardian who cares to stop the abuse, not a guardian who cares to look the other way and say, oh, well, you should do the same. That doesn't stop the abuse. Matter of fact, that is guardianship abuse. You are the legal guardian of an at-risk adult. If they tell you about abuse that they're enduring, you are mandated to turn it in. Every guardian is. It's required by law. They're not just a mandated reporter. They're your personal mandated reporter. How fucked up is that? Now, if I'd have had a guardian at 18, we could have prevented a lot of abuse, and we could have gotten me the help that I needed at 18, instead of me getting it when I was 36. Sorry, I wasn't quite 37 yet. Now, there's a lot of different situations I'm going through right now. There's also a lot of other victims, and I don't speak out for them. Do I have any right to ask anyone to speak out for me? No, that's not equality. If these people aren't able to fight for me, there's a lot of situations where I made special exceptions, ain't there? Like every time there was kids involved. I went all the way to Buffalo when I went to go help Amy Witcher to babysit the kids again. They didn't pay me the first time, and I was pretty sure that if she was having to solo the bills still, she wasn't going to be able to pay me a second time either. But she's family and by blood. Same thing with all 4 of her kids. I know it don't mean much because I want my life to end. But I would give up my life for all of these people. It's easy to say that, isn't it? It's easy to say it. It's not so easy to follow through. Well, you don't get a chance to follow through. If somebody decides that they're going to shoot you, they're going to shoot you. If they decide that they don't want to shoot you, they're not going to shoot you. If they decide they're going to shoot you and they don't have access to a firearm, well, how many times did Monroe stab Mobley? Yeah. Desiree, even though I'm pissed off at her, man, she's a fucking survivor. Stabbed 37 times. 37 times. Outside of Nederland, Colorado. Her and her boyfriend, DJ. And he was gutted like a fish. I'm glad they both survived it. At first, I was told that Hootie was the one that saved her. Turns out it was DJ. Desiree was a lot bigger back then. And DJ, with his guts spilling out all over the ground, was able to get Desiree to the vehicle and get her in because she was bleeding out her neck. Hit her jugular. Luckily, her and DJ both survived. A lot of people wanted to tell me they didn't want to get involved after they were already involved. They didn't realize that the predators that I'd been trying to go to them about were actually people that they knew. Desiree being friends with Rose M. Kelly, that's a strange thing. That's Natalie's mom. Did I go to rescue Desiree and Cheyenne not once but twice? Did I go rescue her because she was friends with Natalie's mom? No. Look at my history of rescuing people. Did I rescue people before the situation with Natalie's mom? No. No, of course not. I would never rescue a person before that. That's the fucking ignorant ass goddamn narrative you want to sell. I realize Brittany doesn't want to speak up or deal with any of this. She wants to be able to move on with her life and forget about the things that happened to her. I'm gonna be honest with you, not that you care. I love Dallas. I do want the best for him. I do have multiple recordings with him and Harley fighting. I don't mean a fist fight. I mean, well, most of it is him telling her to get out of the house. Get out of the house. You don't get to throw things at me and stuff like that. Now, I was half asleep and obviously being startled awake. It took me a few seconds to realize what was going on. But if I go back and I listen to the recordings, that's one of the things about being completely conscious when something's happening and when you're woke up like that. If I go back and listen to the videos, I'll know exactly what Dallas said and exactly what Harley said. And of course, if I'm able to take the time to spend 2 days to download one audio recording and convert it over to a video recording so I can put it on YouTube for you, that's an awful lot of work. When I had two functional laptops, I was able to hold one laptop up to the other. Now, I can't just let this shit in Colorado go. I can't just let this shit in Nebraska go, and I can't just let the shit here go. I can't just keep being forced to move on again and again and again and again and again. Eventually, it gets to the point where even crazy people can recognize how fucking ludicrous it is. But did my supposed friends, the people who claim to love me, bother to take a look at that evidence? That's what it all comes down to with their help. Did you look at evidence? Did you speak up in court? Did you make a police report? Did you make any of these calls with me, or did you just tell me what to do? Not caring whether or not I have the ability, or in most cases, knowing full well that I do not have the ability to do those things. And yet you tell me to do them anyway. Anyway, everything's almost dead on me now, so I gotta turn on my car. So it's good to be ready. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. And remember, you are your brother's keeper. No victim left behind.